Wow, wow, wow. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. That's what we talk about every week on the show. Please join me to welcome my guest on the show, Artist Eric Boylan, please. Thank you.
How's it going?
Hello. How you doing, man?
Good, good, good.
Good, man. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Please
Good
have
to
a
see you.
seat. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more time, please, for Eric, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
How you doing, Eric?
Good, good. How are you?
How's life for you?
Oh, not bad. Busy in college. I'm finished now next week, so it's not too bad.
Good man.
A lot of hard work, but it's got there in the end.
Now, Eric, from what we've read from yourself, you were in prison, you did time.
I was indeed.
You were a soldier, professional soldier.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of this.
5 years I was in the army, yeah.
Yes. Harry, can you talk us through what was the first incident that made you go into prison?
I was drunk one night and I was messing about in town and I jumped in a Garda car because I was a radio man in the army, so I knew how to use the radios, and I put a call sign out thinking it was funny. Hello, 0, this is 10. And then a lot of cops came down and grabbed me out, and I got in a fight with them and resisted arrest, and I ended up getting done for assault on a guard then.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And that's for drinking?
Yeah, drinking, yeah. Too much partying.
And when that happened, you were in prison for how long?
A year I think I was in for. I got 4 years, 2.5 suspended, so I'm still have a suspended sentence, so if I do anything wrong, go on the toilet on the street, even anything silly, I'm back in prison, so have to stay out of trouble, you know. But yeah, so I did I think it was around a year of that, because basically they do 8 months of a year is a prison year. So if you get a year, it's only 8 months actually inside. So I got a year and a half, so I think it was meant I would have ended up doing 13 months, but I got out on good behaviour a bit early.
Okay. Yeah. So you're keeping your head down as the things are
going. Yeah, keeping out of trouble.
You know, when you were in the army, what are the roles you would play?
I started off, I did my training in Gormanstown, and that was 8 months away from your family and stuff like that. So what you do is you probably get out once every weekend for the first month, and then after that they let you out every kind of weekend unless you're messing about around. If the platoon is acting up or anything, they won't let you out. So that went on for 8 months. Then I was passed out as a private, went up to the barracks in McKee, and from there I was just an infantry soldier, and then I moved on to be a signaller, so I was a radio specialist then, and then from there I was just doing that. I did cash escorts, went around with the army. Basically I was the radio man in the back of the car, and we were going around the money, and yeah, just things like that, and normal everyday duties and stuff like that. And I boxed in the army and stuff like that as well, and just different things to keep me busy while I was in there, you know. Right.
Let's bring it back to the prison issue. The first time you've been announced that, okay, you're going to be in a prison to do time, what hit you most? How did you feel?
I wasn't expecting it at first, because the first time I actually went into the court, I was meant to get sentenced, and the judge put it back and let me go. So I didn't expect, when I went back, I was kind of thinking, well, if I got, they would have sentenced me and locked me up then. So I went back, and I wasn't expecting it at all. It was crazy.
And how do your parents and family?
Yeah, my dad was with me, which was strange, and he was like, "Oh no, you're grand," and I was like, "I'm not," because one of the guards was there with our family and stuff like that, and I was like, "I don't stand a chance here. Like, why would she?" It's like they knew. It's like our family wouldn't be here if I wasn't going down, you know. And I kind of clicked it, and yeah, it was just like a whirlwind. You just not like when I went up, I just heard this many years, but then like you don't know what's going on. It's like consecutively, so I didn't know how many years, and then I got down off the dock then, and the two guards were standing there with, like, the two screws were there, and they just said, look, you have to go back in here, and putting a room down on my own. And
did you ever regret being able to do such?
Sorry?
Yeah, did you ever regret for what you've done?
I've done, yeah, of course, but at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and I wouldn't be here and be the person I am now if I didn't make that mistake.
Sure.
You know, I wouldn't have torn my life around in the way that I did. So it kind of was a blessing in disguise. And yeah, I never would have found art either. So, well, I never would have got back into art. So.
Sure. So let's talk about why you're in prison. What are the things you do while you're in the prison? What was the first thing that came into your mind? Because there's some things you discover who you were while you were there. Yeah. Of which while you were outside, that's not what you were doing actually. Yeah. Because you gone in, your life changed from there. Yeah. So what was the first hit that came to you while you were there?
The thing that I found most was getting used to being able, because I was already in the army, which it made it kind of easier for me to go into the prison life, because it's a kind of an institutionalised kind of thing anyway, especially when I was training, you're away from your family. It's like it's actually worse than prison, because you have to get up at 6 in the morning, do push-ups outside and stuff like that. But it's structured. So what happened there was with the prison, it's not structured. It is to an extent, but you have a lot of free time yourself, and I found that very hard and difficult to get my head around, which, because I never had to do that before, everything was structured for me, and as a person I know myself now that I need structure, or else I kind of go a bit mad. So what I do is try to build structure for myself, and being in prison learned me that, like, so you have to fill the time up with doing things like books and studying and learning languages or painting and get a job in the kitchen or whatever like that. But that was the hardest part, was getting used to getting my own time.
That kind of your own
yeah,
time.
yeah. Rather than being told what to do.
Yes.
You have all the time in the world. That's all you have is time. So.
And then you just discover a talent, which is art is your talent.
Yeah.
Where did you get that inspiration from?
Strange actually. I was in the kitchen, and I worked in the kitchen, and I broke my finger. And there is a Spanish classes, and there's all different, it's like a school basically that you can go to when you're in there, but I was doing work, and basically I worked till 5 o'clock, went for a walk around the yard, then went back into my cell, and the days were flying doing that, but I ended up breaking my finger in there, and I had nothing to do, so I says, oh, why don't I just get into going up to the school to waste my time, because I was bored during the day. And yeah, so I started doing Spanish and art class, and I just loved it, and I just kept going up all the time, and then they eventually started giving me the keys to the art room, and I'd go up and on the weekends and bring speakers and stuff and sit there painting away, and just it was great for me. And if that hadn't happened, like, so if I hadn't got locked up, if I hadn't broke my finger,
that would have happened.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like fate, as they say, you know.
Very true.
Yeah.
And most of your work, being an art, has been shown on museum, has been shown on the center. So how has that changed for you?
Oh, it's just madness. I never expected that, because I got into it just to fill time. I used to do art as a kid, but I wasn't good in school, and I ended up getting kicked out of school, and got an apprenticeship, and I did that then, and then I went into the army and stuff. Sorry, and so it was like strange that I just kind of did it to fill up a bit of time, and I done these paintings, and then I left them with Bernie, and she said, we're going to send these into a gallery thing. And then after a couple of months after I'd left, I got the letter then in the post with, this is after being accepted, and it's going to be shown here and here in these galleries, and
wow.
It just took off from there, which is
that was huge,
intense.
Huge
yeah, it just had interviews with TV shows, and then Nathan came along then and asked would I be interested in doing a short film about it, myself and my story, and then that's after taking off then again. So it's just kind of, I was on TV3 there the other day, like, so it's kind of, TG4, so it's kind of, it's kind of snowball effect.
Keep going, you're beating up, and things are changing.
It just keeps coming now. It's out of my hands, like, it's nothing.
Which is good. Which is good. You know, I mean, for the first start of it is that this is what happened that brought you into that, but you're lucky, you know, because that's the highest degree.
It's all laid out for me, look.
You know, so that's life for you. Yeah. You're talking about Nathan. What role Nathan played in your life?
Well, Nathan came along and asked would I be interested. I think he contacted Brent Pope.
Yes.
He does a lot of work with outside art in Ireland and stuff like that, and I was an outside artist at the time because I'd never had any formal education in art or anything like that. So he contacted Brent, and Brent, I think, told him about me because it was just the timing of it. And so he came along, we met up, had lunch, and had a chat about it. I liked Nathan, and thought he had good ideas about what he wanted to do and where he wanted to go with it. And then
so
we went from there.
It wasn't the movies and everything about yourself. Yeah. So we're going to have Nathan here, and we're going to talk to him about it. So we're going to stay with it. So viewers, stay for more. We'll be right back after this as we have Nathan right here with us to talk about his work with. Thank you.